Hello, welcome to another episode of Student of Excellent Podcast. I am Frida and I'm going to be your host for this episode. So, in this episode, I'm going to be talking about 10 amazing things you can do for an effective time management. Now, you want to be able to manage your time as a student and you don't know how to go about it. I'm going to be giving you 10 tips, but in this particular episode, I'll be giving you 5, and I'm going to create a part 2 where I'll be giving you the other 5 tips. So now I want you to understand that before one can know how to manage something, he must first understand it. You must first understand it. So if you don't know how time works, you don't know how time flies, you will never know how to control time and how to manage it properly. So we're going to be talking about time. What are those things you need to be aware of about time? Now, time, according to what I saw on the internet, time is a duration of events from the past to the present to the future, and it is something that we cannot see, we cannot touch, and we cannot taste, but can be measured by a clock, right? We use clock to check the time. So one of the things I began to understand about time is that God is the Lord of time. Time actually began at creation. That was when time began. And also, time is also going to end when God wants it to end. So God is the one that is the creator of time. He knows the beginning from the end. No man can predict the beginning. Even the clock you have now cannot predict the beginning to the end of life. The clock cannot predict the end of life, but God can predict, and He knows the end of life. So one of the things I've begun to understand about time is that you can't really stop time. You can't stop time. You can't have what would they call it? A kind of complete control over time. You can fix your clock if it gets broken, but you cannot change time. Nobody can go to the past, neither can anybody go to the future. You can only live in the present. So this is the things you need to be aware of time. I've seen a lot of people trying to control time in a way that seems so unrealistic. But I want us to understand that it's not possible for us to control time completely. But what we can do is that we can control what we do in the amount of time that we have. We all have 24 hours to do everything we want to do in this life. So how you spend those 24 hours of your day is very, very important as a student and even as a individual as well. Normally it's very, very important. So I'll be giving you tips on how to manage. What is time management? Time management is all about planning and controlling how much time each activity needs. Everything you are doing has a time that it needs. So that is what time management is all about. So what can you do to manage your time more? What can you do to be able to have complete at least some control, some influence over the time, the little time that you have, just 24 hours a day? What can you do? Now the first thing you need to do is that tip number 1, reflect on how you use your time. What are those things you do every day? I want you to take out a note, a book and a pen, and I want you to write down the activities you do and how long you spent. I mean, now I'm already aware of my own. Sometimes I take up to 1 hour to dress up, and I've been able to understand that is one of the things that takes my time a lot. Then there are people too that take time when they are bathing, and they take time when they are maybe using their phone, and there are some other things that people just do. So just write down all the things you do each day and how long. The reason for this is so that you can know just how much you are spending your time. You can know the relevant things you are doing and the irrelevant things you are doing as well. So when you're done with that, the next tip number 2, I want you to set goals for yourself. What are those things you want to achieve within this week or this day, within this week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, even a year? When you're setting your goals, make sure that they are very realistic. In a matter of you can do it in that particular period of time. For example, now as a student, now you want to study and you just have like 4 weeks to exam, and you want to study like 7 courses. You can't just put, okay, I'm going to be studying 1 course a day, or or you say, okay, I want to be studying 5 courses a day. No, that thing sounds very unrealistic, because many things might just happen that day and you might not be able to achieve that. So rather, try to plan your goals in such a way that it's something achievable within a particular time, right? So that is the first thing you have to do. That is tip number 2. Then tip number 3 is that I want you to plan your day. You see, one of the things we need to understand about life is that unexpected events will always happen. No matter how you try to manage your time, unexpected things will still happen. Things you didn't plan for will still happen. So instead of us to be worried about those unexpected activities, rather we need to plan what exactly it is that we want to achieve that day. So I want you to bring out a pen and a paper and make a to-do list. Make a list of the number of things you want to do each day, the number of things you want to do, and the particular time you want to do them. This is very, very important. Even as a student too, you have to make sure you have a time for your studying. You don't just read anyhow you want to read. No, have a particular time, because it will allow you to be more focused than if you're just reading randomly. No, it will allow you to be more focused. So you set a desired time and the number of activities you want to do. Then tip time conscious, meaning that you should be regularly ensure that you check the time. Don't just go about your day just doing things and you don't have a clock, you don't have a watch, or your phone is not on, nothing at all for you to even be knowing how time is going. No, you have to be very, very time conscious, and also make sure that those activities that you have written down in your list, it has a deadline. It has a deadline for them. You don't want to spend too much hours doing one thing. No, you have to have a specific time when you want that activity to end. Then in that same tip number 4, what you have to do next is that you have to make sure that you wake up on time, you wake up early. And the reason for waking up early is so that you can start your activity on time. You don't want to start doing your work late, because when you wake up late, you always feel disorganized. When you feel disorganized like that, you find it difficult to really do something productive that day. So you make sure you wake up on time, especially when you have a lot of activities to do that day. Make sure you wake up on time. Make sure you prioritize the things you want to do, right? The things that are urgent, the things that are important, they are the things that you should do first. The most difficult activities is the things you should do first. Then there are some that you don't actually need to do by yourself. You can just delegate it to somebody, maybe a friend or just somebody close by that can easily just do it quick, sharp. Number 5, which is the last. Yes. For big tasks, you can go about them by breaking them into smaller activities you can do each day. For example, now you have a mind of, let's say, summarizing a textbook now. Or a course that you want to study, you want to summarize it. If you know you cannot do it in one day, rather instead of just spending so much time and getting exhausted and tired, you can plan, okay, I will finish this page today, then tomorrow I'll finish the next page, just like that. By breaking them into smaller tasks, it makes it easier and more achievable for you to do. Yes, so these are the 5 tips. I'm going to get the remaining 5 tips ready on how to effectively manage your time. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to share to your friends so that they can also participate in it. I hope to see you next time. Bye.